This guy is the OG. He is the king. He's been around since before I was even born. At one point, he was bigger than Mickey Mouse. Bugs Bunny is the man. He's funny. He doesn't take crap from anyone, and he was in a movie with Michael Jordan. When I'm talking about being around for a long time, I'm saying he's been around since the 1940s. It has been that long since this guy has taken the stage, and when you're around for that long, people are going to make up some theories about you. I took the time to find the best ones, and that is how I'm bringing you today's list of top 10 scary Bugs Bunny theories. I am, of course, your host, Jay Arena, and all of you at home are the most amazing top 10 family. I would love it if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell, and stick around until the end of the video because I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts, which you guys love so much. And without taking any longer, let's get into this list. Coming in at number 10, we have Bugs Bunny is a god. All of the Looney Tunes seem to have some of the most amazing superpowers you can find. All of them are incredibly durable, and they have super speed. They can craft things out of thin air, and somehow a lot of them have the number to the Acme office that just provides them with insane explosives all the time. But even though everyone else can do this, Bugs Bunny seems to be a step ahead of all of them. This has led to some fans thinking that he is actually a trickster god. I mean, look at everything that he does. He comes to the world of man just to make everyone's life a little harder for his own amusement. He has the ability to disguise himself perfectly, and he convinces people of believing almost anything. The pranks that this guy pulls off are on the same level as Loki or Hermes. On top of all of that, a lot of trickster gods will take the form of animals. Coming in at number 9, we have Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd are feuding gods. Well, if the first theory is true, then what does that make Bugs Bunny's arch enemy? Well, it could be a normal human, but I don't know any regular guy that can handle an anvil landing on his head. The battle between these two seems something right out of mythology rather than a classic feud of two cartoon characters. There's also the idea that Elmer Fudd was cursed by the gods. He has to catch Bugs Bunny, and that's why he's always hunting him. The same way you have Sisyphus, who has to push a boulder up a hill only to have it roll back down. The gods have cursed Elmer Fudd with trying to catch a rabbit that can never be caught. Sounds like a cruel trick, but the gods love cruel tricks. At number 8, we have Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny switch spots. If you haven't seen Space Jam, then I don't know what you have been doing with your time, because it is one of the greatest movies that has ever been made, and I'm not making that up. It's actually legit great. But at the end of the movie, something strange happens. You have Michael Jordan unlock his Looney Tune powers for the final moments of the basketball game against the Monstars, which in turn leads to the Looney Tunes winning, and Michael Jordan saves the day. Now, some say the pressure of the moment is what allowed Michael Jordan to rise up to the occasion and win the game. But some people speculate that in those moments before the last play, that Michael actually switched spots with Bugs. Bugs used one of his famous disguises, went in as Michael Jordan, because the Monstars never would have expected him to have cartoon abilities, which sealed the victory for the Toon Squad. And maybe they never switched back, and it was Bugs Bunny who won 3 more with the Bulls. At number 7, we have Bugs Bunny is on drugs. It can be hard for some people to handle the limelight. The pressures of being famous can bring anyone down, and some people will turn to things that will only hurt them in the long run. And for Bugs Bunny, the terrible thing that he could be addicted to could be carrots. Well, there's nothing wrong with carrots. How could that be considered a drug? Well, there's 2 schools of thought on this one. Some people say that the carrots symbolize drugs. That's why the people who are after him are always trying to shoot him, because they're supposed to be caught, coming in to break down the door and arrest him in his home, because he is in possession of illegal narcotics. Now, there is also the theory that the carrots are actually a flask or something that Bugs is using to get the drugs into his body. And him always being high is the explanation of why he's constantly acting crazy. Coming in at number 6, we have Bugs Bunny is terminally ill. Now, how do you come up with the catchphrase, "What's up, Doc?" unless you've been taking a lot of trips to the doctor? And that's exactly what this theory is. That Bugs Bunny has been going to see medical professionals so much that he started saying, "What's up, Doc?" habitually. This then passed into his life outside the doctor's office because he thought it was a funny thing to say, and he was using humor to deflect from the fact that he was slowly dying. Now, what sickness is eating its way through this poor bunny's body? Well, I don't think we will ever know, because I don't think Bugs would be ready to face the fact that he's actually dying, and also because this is just a theory, it's not actually in the show. Coming in at number 5, we have the original Bugs is dead. If you go back and check out the character models for Bugs Bunny throughout the Looney Tunes franchise, you will see that there's been a lot of changes to Bugs, as well as a lot of the other characters that have famously been attached to the Looney Tunes series. Now, why is this? Well, you have to move on and upgrade the animation styles to give these guys a fresh look, because you don't want all your cartoons still looking like Steamboat Willie. But some people think this is because the characters have actually died off, specifically Bugs. The original Bugs died trying to pull a fast one over Elmer Fudd, but he wasn't as clever as the updated version. That could be why Bugs and Elmer have this long-standing vendetta against each other. Elmer Fudd actually killed Bugs Bunny's grandfather. It makes all the explosive pies just seem a little bit more justified. Coming in at number 4, we have Bugs Bunny is going crazy. I mean, Bugs does have a lot of strange behavior. He has a lot of tics that go along with mental disorders. The biggest one would be his catchphrase. It's normal for people suffering from dementia or a disassociation disorder to say the same thing over and over because their mind will keep revisiting the same memories. I mean, when we do look at the character, he is very, very old. I mean, even for a human, and the guy's a rabbit. There's no way he should still be alive. This could be why Bugs is constantly being hunted, because he's actually a sickly rabbit that is spreading disease. This is transferring to other species in the forest, so the hunters are going in to take him out so the rest of the population doesn't catch what he's got. This also plays into his catchphrase, "What's up, Doc?" because the people hunting him would have been the ones who diagnosed Bugs Bunny. Coming in at number 3, we have multiple universes. Depending on what episode we are talking about, we see Bugs battling against a few different foes. Of course, you have FUDD, they go way back, and they hate each other with a seething hatred that can't be stopped. But what about Yosemite Sam? All those altercations with Bugs take place in a completely different time period. You gotta go all the way back to the Old West. Then you have Taz, and it's hard to tell exactly when the conflict between these two takes place, but I think it's safe to say that Tasmania is nowhere near the Old West. And don't forget about Marvin the Martian. Bugs would have to be from some sort of futuristic society to get all the way into space, and that's just mentioning the popular Looney Tunes that Bugs Bunny squares off against. Some say that this is because they are all different versions of Bugs, but they all have very similar attitudes towards life. Each episode is a glimpse into an alternate universe, and I mean, if that was true, it would be a testament to how honest Bugs is, because he's literally the same person throughout dimensions. Coming in at number 2, we have Roadrunner and Bugs are the same guy. This one pulls out a huge conflict in me because Roadrunner is by far one of my least favorite Looney Tunes, and Bugs Bunny is probably my favorite. He's got to be number 1 or number 2, but there is some good evidence to back this one up. They both are tormenting someone who is trying to eat them. They both will get themselves into the worst possible situation and then quickly outsmart their opponent, and to top it off, they both have catchphrases. I mean, Meep Meep isn't really a catchphrase, it's more of a noise, but it's still something signature that you can connect to the character. But the real question here is, who is the real version? And coming in at number 1, we have Bugs Bunny is the villain. Now, obviously, there are a lot of instances where Bugs is acting in self-defense, where he has no choice but to fight back against the people who are after him. But you can also point to a ton of episodes where Bugs goes out of his way to make sure that he makes everyone's day worse. Like, let's start off with Space Jam. Bugs doesn't ask Michael Jordan for help. He just takes him to a world that he didn't even know existed, and then he gets him into a basketball match with the Monstars that nearly kills him. There's the famous scene where Bugs Bunny is conducting the opera. He pushes one of the opera singers nearly to the brink of death just so he can see how long this guy can hold a note. And even when he's in a situation where it seems like he needs to defend himself, it's always like he goads the person into attacking so he can make them look like fools. It's like he wants them to attack so he can play the victim. So maybe he's been the bad guy this whole time. Alright everyone, that has been our list. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in, and as promised, I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts. Remember, if you want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram. I pick new pets every day, so if you don't get picked one day, you can message back another day. If it takes me a little while to get back to you, I'm very sorry. You can just message me as many times as you want, and without taking any longer, let's get into this list. First up, we have Pepper, who is super cute. Look at how big her ears are. I love it so much. Right after that, we have Sky with some beautiful blue eyes. Amazing blue eyes on that dog. Next up, we have one of the cutest pictures of a cat I have ever seen. Look at how cute this little dude is. Then we have the doggo Samson, who's just curled up so good. He's like so wrapped up. He almost looks like a little donut or something like that. And to close it out, we have a good boy chilling in the sunshine for some vitamin D. Alright guys, that's all we have for you today. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been your host, Chaderena, and keep enjoying this content.